So we get to see what burdens Paul's heart. All right, kid. As we were trying to do this, I was trying to consider how I pray with joy for y'all. And I hope that y'all pray with earnestness and joy for each other. Selfishly, I hope you pray with earnestness and joy for Debbie and I. But how are you doing that? How are you praying for one another? Because not only do we need to look at this and fill out charts and do some cool coloring, we need to make sure that we're applying it to our lives. Because when we apply it to our lives, that's what's going to be easy to teach the kids. Because it's not just some words on a chart that we've filled out and we've checked it off our list. No, when we apply it to our lives, we're teaching from the heart. We're showing them how it's affecting our lives. And so therefore it's no longer just teaching, that's discipleship. That's life on life. And we get back to the heart of everything that K-Life is. So y'all need to make sure that your relationship with God is growing. You need to make sure that you and God are right. That you're just yearning for Him. That's when this is going to be easy. Because you're just going to be breaking this down like nothing. Because you're going to want to know exactly what the rest of these 3 chapters say about Paul. How is he acting? What's he telling the Philippians to do? You know, he gives them commandments all through here. This is Paul writing to a church and telling them how to be good Christians. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I've got 9 instructions from Paul right here on how to be a good Christian. Well, yeah, that's really important. Because I'm a Christian and Paul is a baller. And so I want to listen to what he has to say. So that's why it's important to fill these charts out. So that we can understand everything that's going on. The last thing that I want to go over tonight, this is going to be a little bit harder since not everybody has gone through this. But once you get done, we're going to come up with an entire theme for the book of Philippians. Now, theoretically, when you get done with lesson 1, you will have read the book of Philippians 6 times, if not more. Because you're going to have to read and reread this stuff as you're going through finding all this. Because the lesson asks you, hey, who's the author? Where is he? It's going to ask you all these questions about Paul. Then it's going to say, hey, guess what? We need to know about the recipients. Go back and read it again. So you're going to have to go back and read through it again. And say, all right, who are the recipients? What are they doing? What are the circumstances? Then we're going to go back through again. And we're going to say, all right, we're going to ask you a question about Paul and the recipients. And so you're going to know this book very well just after the first lesson. So anybody who did enough of it to maybe have an idea or come up with their own theme. Did anybody come up with their own theme of the entire book of Philippians?
Rejoice.
Rejoice? That's good.
And suffering, serving, believing, giving, like several different things.
Okay. Anybody else? Anybody else come up with a theme? These are going to be similar too.
Keep eyes on Christ. There's a lot through it. It talks about like being imitators of your actions.
Keep eyes on Christ. I like that.
Pursuing Christ-likeness.
Pursuing Christ-likeness. That's great. Yo, one key thing on this theme, as kids are spitballing, as they're throwing out ideas, as y'all are whiteboarding per se, know that there's very rarely going to be a wrong answer. Now, there may be one to be like, hey, you didn't read that. That's dumb. That is not a theme. But y'all, this is the theme for the entire book. And then once we get into the individual chapters, we will come up with themes for those as well. The themes are there for you to remember. When we did James, the book of James, I came up with my own themes. Those are not John's themes. If he looked at my themes for chapters, he would have no clue what was going on. He may have an idea. Those themes are there for you to remember what each chapter or book is about. Mine, for Philippians, is rejoice with joy. It's kind of redundant, right? It's what Paul talks about the whole time. Rejoicing. Being joyful. We're supposed to rejoice a lot. We're supposed to have a lot of joy. So that's why I put both of them in there. Because that makes me think of Philippians. It makes me think of Paul in a cell, rejoicing and being joyful in his sufferings talking to other people and telling them to rejoice and have joy in their sufferings. So that triggers a lot more thought for me. That's what a theme needs to be. It needs to be something that triggers your memory. All right? Now that was a lot. That was a crash course. We had to do that really quick because we only had 25 minutes. I am going to ask y'all, go ahead, get lesson 1 done. And you can do lesson 1 pretty fast. Lesson 2, not as long. It's not. So next week, we're going to talk about lesson 2. We're not going to go over lesson 1. I'm going to assume that y'all do it. If you have any questions whatsoever, come talk to us. We are here. As you can tell, I can barely talk. I'm so excited. So I will stay up all night talking or helping you go through this, coming up with lesson plans for your small groups. If you feel lost at any point, come to us immediately. If you want help, even if you're not lost and you want help going through this, come to us. We will devise. Lord wants help. We'll do anything we have to. Okay? Are there any questions before we close?